Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, a flaming hot grilled cheese burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshing and goes down smooth. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
How's your day going?
Going good, thank you, yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Shannon Keegren with Boise State Softball. Summer in Idaho is the best time of year. Rodeos, camping trips, and the hikes that end in views you'll never forget. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're here to get you there. With a team known for incredible customer service, the best new and pre-owned inventory, and a commitment to making your experience easy, friendly, and fast. But here's the best part. Every purchase here helps support Boise State athletics through their NIL partnerships and athletic sponsorships. See you soon at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live is the only daily show that talks nothing but Boise State sports. And we do it with you. Give us your comments or questions in the ICCU YouTube chat. Or leave us a voicemail on the Signature Roofing voice inbox at speakpipe.com/BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise, and our major sponsors, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, RoadPaint.com, and the Blue and Orange Store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Bronco Nation? Welcome on in a live edition of Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. My name is BJ Rains, and we're presented by Lithia Ford of Boise, LithiaFordBoise.com. And we appreciate Jim Sturk and everybody for their support of Bronco Nation News. If you're looking for that new or pre-owned vehicle, make sure you check out Lithia Ford of Boise. And as the sound guy said there, the Sun Cruiser Studios, real iced tea, real vodka. Pick up a Sun Cruiser today. Love those blueberry lemonades right now. Appreciate everybody, as you do each and every day, tuning in today. Jay Tust going to join us momentarily. Billy, as he always does, starting us off, watching from Minnesota. Appreciate that. BSU fan watching from the home city of the Broncos. Appreciate you. And how about Tyler? Shout out Tyler today, watching on a Southwest flight to Reno. So good to see the Southwest Wi-Fi is working for you, Tyler. Always appreciate that, and appreciate all of you, no matter where you're watching. That's the beautiful thing about this, is folks can watch from around the country, around the world, as we talk Boise State sports each and every day here on Bronco Nation News. Don't forget, we got that 50% offer still going at bronconationnews.com. Go subscribe. We got our countdown going on, a lot of cool stuff going on. Would love to have you join us. 50% off the annual rate right now. We're part of the 24/7 sports family. Get all the access to the 24/7 family of recruiting coverage and things like that. So appreciate all of you that already have, and I encourage you to take advantage of it. 50% off before that offer goes away at bronconationnews.com. Daily Boise State coverage, exclusive coverage at home, on the road, the only independent, non-Boise State affiliated outlet that travels on the road with the basketball team and the football team. And appreciate those of you that help support our coverage. And if you want to see more coverage and more shows like this, bronconationnews.com. We are in our series of 26. We had 25. We thought, you know what, 26. It's 2026. It sounds better. 26 players in the 2026 football season. We are counting down. We had Oscar Doyle last Friday as number 26. We had Jason Steele at number 25 yesterday. And today we're going to talk about Jake Ripp, a linebacker for the football team, special teams contributor as well. To help us do that, we bring in the host of Bronco Studios, the award winner, Jay Tust. No Colt Emerson jersey today?
He had a bomb last night.
I know. I thought you'd be rocking the jersey today.
Man, I woke up this morning and I had 3 missed phone calls and like 7 text messages from Johnny Mallory. That's how excited he was about Colton Emerson's three-run bomb there late in the Mariners game to secure a 6-1 victory. Big time.
Not bad when you can get called up and they say, I just drive, 30 minutes up the road to the stadium. Like, that was a cool video, but he gets the call to the show, and yeah, good for Cole.
Yeah, I'm just happy for him that call came on a Sunday versus a weekday, because, man, you would have been sweating bullets getting up to T-Mobile Park on
traffic.
Time, going all the way from Tacoma, on a weekday at that time.
Well, good for him. That was cool. Congrats, all the Mariners fans. Yeah, and then went deep for his first major league hit. So that was pretty cool. But Jay, we enjoyed yesterday's edition of Bronco Studios. Folks can go back and watch that on the Boise State Athletics YouTube channel, and also enjoyed the special edition of The Climb with the sleepover on the Blue. I didn't see your tent out there. I didn't know. I didn't see you out there, though.
Yeah, some of us weren't invited. Let's just say that. But yeah, Kirby and the boys did an awesome job, putting together a little behind the scenes recap of the lock-in for the Boise State football team. And yeah, that was a fun video. I agree with you there, bud.
If nobody got a chance to see it, go watch that, and cool little sleepover on the Blue. And then I know in years past they've done that and then had like surprise morning practice or whatever, surprise in the next morning. And I know they kind of walked to the stadium while holding the hammer, and there was a lot of symbolism to a lot of it, and a lot of motivational type stuff and more mental stuff than maybe like, grinding stuff on the body and hard workouts and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it based on the video we saw, and Spencer had touched on it briefly when he came on our show last week, it sounded like the only problem is it ain't the Blue they're going to play on. They're replacing it. They should have waited a month to do it. Come on.
You get the point.
The sentiment is there. I get it. It was
it's
pretty
crazy
cool
though, man. Like,
they got good weather too.
They did have good weather, but it's crazy. Like they only got a few more days basically, and then they're back at it because Memorial Day is earlier this year. That means the boys get back to town a little earlier this year. So with that late spring practice schedule, right? They really got about a month off, and when you consider they still have to finish up school and stuff like that, you're probably really only looking at a few weeks off, really.
Yeah, I think it's like 10 days from today or something like that, or whatever it is. It's coming up here pretty quickly, and they'll be back at it, and there will be 100-plus players getting ready for the season. We are identifying 26 of them. We actually went on our day before our honorable mention. We had another 6 or 7 that we touched on, but we've kind of zeroed in on 26 players that we want to focus on. There's obviously many more that are going to be key contributors and parts of this team, but we're looking at 26 as we count down. Jay, before we get to today's topic, any thoughts on either Oscar Doyle or Jason Steele, the two we've touched on already?
I think that offensive line it's really going to be fun to see what that looks like in fall camp, because a lot of it will probably look different than what we experienced in spring ball, right? Because mentioned Steele, Roger Carrion, even Daylon Matoyer, and maybe some of those guys are even ones that you're going to talk about here eventually, with the countdown going on. But I think Jason Steele factors in at some point somewhere. Clearly, I mean, he played early in his career at Boise State, and I think that maybe he was one of the most recent gratitude tweets that Spencer Danielson sent out as well. I think something along those lines.
I'm just waiting for the gratitude for the media. When's that coming?
You don't get any of that. That's where we draw the line.
I'd be the first coach in history to give any kind of positive gratitude toward. But
if anybody would, though, it would be Spencer. He respects it. So if anybody would, it would be Spencer. And then Oscar Doyle, he had a pretty solid year one. Threw a touchdown pass. He had a couple of fun plays in there. Had another trick play that he converted as well somewhere along the way right before that. So I think he had a good season, and he's another one worth paying attention to with this 5-for-5 rule, BJ, because there's a chance that he might get another year at some point in time, and that's for a discussion a later day here. But either way, that could lead to more Oscar Doyle in a Boise State uniform.
And I do want to I don't want to get off topic now, but I do have it written down for a little bit later in the show. I do want to talk about Jonah Dalmas and getting a chance to get out there and do some things. That was really cool to see. There's a comment in here about it. We will get back to Jonah Dalmas, speaking of special teams, in a minute. I also do want to touch on the reported settlement with the Mountain West and the Pac-12. We'll see what we don't know a lot about it, but curious to talk about that as well. But
I think the exciting thing there, at least there's the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Yes. And both sides will probably say they won, and we'll. But I have a couple of thoughts on that. We'll do that later in the show. But today, Jay, Jake Ripp, linebacker, checks in at number 24 on our list of the Bronco Nation News most important players in 2026. Your first thought when you hear Jake Ripp number 2020, or when he's 24, is that too high, too low, about right? What do you think of Jake Ripp?
Probably about right. Because now, what you're at 24, you're basically just beyond your starters for the most part, right? 11 and 11. So
basically, yeah. And you've got special teams guys and a kicker, punter. In years past, we haven't had all 5 offensive linemen on the list, so I don't know if there's one that's not making it. But with some new guys this year, you could say that you're going to be pretty close. It's pretty close to all the starters, and then you sprinkle in a couple extra guys, so it's about right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think where Jake Ripp is going to be an impactful guy is, he's just experienced. He can be a veteran presence in the locker room. He can be a culture piece where he's a guy that's been here through a whole hell of a lot, for that matter, in his time, right? So in terms of a guy that can, offer perspective and leadership in the locker room, he's versatile. They moved him around a little bit last year. I think that Jake Ripp, when I say key piece, I just mean he has value for sure to this team and what he can bring, whether it be at linebacker or special teams or the intangible stuff like leadership.
And we do have a story up at BroncoNationNews.com, and every day we'll have an accompanying story with the guy that we're talking about for that day on the countdown. You can dive into more of the analytics and the numbers and kind of what we're expressing in audio form, I guess, video form. Nathan, Carroll, and Chris and myself are going to be expressing in the written form in terms of looking at some of the numbers and the stats. And Jay, you mentioned, being a guy that's valuable in multiple ways. You look at his career snaps, 599 on defense, 494 on special teams. He's played at least 200 snaps each of the past 3 seasons. But last year, kind of the first one getting, real significant action on defense. 428 snaps on defense last year. Started the first 6 games of the season. But as Nathan notes here in the article, which again is available for subscribers at BroncoNationNews.com, still, moved out of the starting lineup after 6 games, but still averaged 27 snaps per game. So still was a guy that was in the rotation and played some action there. Linebacker is a position, Jay, that we're, going to be looking at a lot this year. Obviously, Bowen Phelps has quickly risen up the list as one of the, most important players on this team. Pretty quickly, it's turned into a leader and a star player on this team.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of candidates behind him and next to him and in that linebacker room, but not a ton of, proven guys, at least at the Boise State level. And you've got talk about a guy that's played 200 plus snaps each of the 3 years. Jake Ripp is one of the more quote unquote veteran experienced guys in that room.
Yeah. And obviously you remember, but if you remember, he was playing kind of a different spot in spring, and then due to the way the roster played out and everything, he kind of moved back to his more traditional spot in the fall. But yeah, a guy that played over 400 defensive snaps last year, right? In most games, he was somewhere between 20 and 30-ish. In the App State game, he played 72. So he played a majority of that game, and that was probably the most run that he's ever really had on defense, but almost 100 snaps on special teams. So like I said, he has value because of his versatility. And I also just think that as you see Boise State's coaching staff really start to double down and emphasize special teams, I just think that guys like him are important. Like those linebacker, tight end, just builds, those guys can really make an impact on special teams. And I think that you're going to see Jake do that.
And you mentioned switching positions. Obviously, was playing the edge, coming off the edge, more up on the line of scrimmage at times. And some of the numbers, and again, I'm not going to give them all away because we'd love for you to subscribe and read the story. But Nathan kind of notes that he only rushed the passer 55 times last season, but his pass rush grade, 68.8, was the 3rd best amongst players with at least 50 pass rush attempts on the team. So the third, quote unquote, the 3rd best pass rusher on the team last year, even despite playing linebacker. He did rack up 12 pressures on his 55 pass rushing snaps. 21.8% pressure rate, was 2nd best amongst any player with at least 10 pressures on the team. And 2025, it came after he played predominantly on the edge in 2024, which is why they were looking at maybe moving him. Jay, 73% of his snaps came on the line of scrimmage in 2024. And Andrew Simpson obviously leaves. They have to make some change there and move him back. That was a big part of it. But, we can talk about his missed tackle rate and some other areas where maybe he needs to improve here in a minute. But in terms of his ability to rush the passer, doesn't do it as much, now as a linebacker, but still one of the most effective guys on the team at doing it.
Yeah, and I think that's why you saw them experiment with that last year. And I know that, his weight even fluctuated a little bit when he decided to do that. But, I think that, just kind of look at the way he moves. And you brought up Andrew Simpson. Now, Andrew moved and could he just had like a unique ability to kind of contort his body or get skinny at times and things like that. I do think that Jake shows a little bit of the ability to do that as well, which is why you've seen him be effective as a pass rusher at times.
Jay Tust, Bronco Studios. My name is BJ Rains. We're talking about Jake Ripp, our number 24 player on the countdown of the BNN top 26 most important players going into the 2026 football season here on Bronco Nation News. We're in the Sun Cruiser Studios, and our title sponsor is Lithia Ford of Boise. And again, there's some positives, but there's also some things that he needs to improve on to take that next step, Jay, and become kind of a better player, I guess, so to speak. But his Pro Football Focus grade, and again, I know some of that's subjective. I know some of our coaches on here don't necessarily always love those numbers and grades because it's one or two stat nerds, grading things, as they like to say. But the grade of 62 comes in just above replacement level. And his missed tackle rate, 14.9%, comes in slightly below average for his position. Here, I'm just going to read one line here from Nathan Carroll. You're a baseball guy. Tell me if this is fair, if you agree with this. And Nathan would probably love if you disagree as well. But he says if Ripp were a pitcher in baseball, he'd be a solid minute-eating and middle reliever. rarely made back-breaking mistakes for the Broncos, but didn't bring the high-end play needed to be an impactful all-conference caliber player. With Ripp, you can bank on solid run defense, solid tackling, and solid coverage skills. So not the best player out there, but not going to hurt you as well. He called him similar to a middle inning, innings eater in the middle innings. Is that fair for Jake Ripp?
I don't mind the analogy. And I think the one way you maybe you think it's negative connotation or whatever, but my point, you need that guy on your baseball roster, right? So you need a guy like this on your football roster. And, even where he's at, just kind of pushed outside beyond the starting numbers or whatever in your countdown, BJ. So I don't mind that versatility. Like on that note, those inning eating middle relievers, what happens when some guy in your rotation goes down? He gets called upon to play a bigger role, right? And so I think that's actually not a bad analogy for that matter.
So how do you see, we'll talk more about the linebacker position as a whole, I guess, throughout this series and our next series, looking at kind of bigger picture questions. But you got Logan Brantley, the Kansas transfer there. Yep. You have Sincere Brackett Lambley, who both those guys had some, were getting strong reviews in spring. But do you still see Ripp as the favorite to start there at the mic?
Whew. I think that thing's just going to get pushed into fall camp, BJ, in all honesty, man. I think that he's gonna make one hell of a run at it, as he should. But some of these young guys that came in at spring, you're also going to see them make big jumps throughout the summer and things like that. And so I think that there's some intriguing pieces right there, man, that are really going to push, and it's going to be a fun linebacker competition as we see this thing play out. And one thing I want to say too, week 4 was actually for Air Force, not. I think I said App State. They had to bye early. So week 4 was Air Force. So he jumped in there against the triple option and played a ton against the Falcons.
Man, one more note on an area that he could improve in, Jay. He was targeted in pass coverage 11 times last year, gave up 8 receptions of the 11 times. So another area that pass coverage, Nathan was saying is too valuable to take off the field on third down because of his pass rushing ability. But obviously he'll have to, in coverage, try to improve a little bit there as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
But overall, solid player. As you said, nowadays, Jay, with the transfer portal and everything, to have a guy that's played at least 200 snaps, 3 straight seasons for your program going into year 4, I bet you could go look around and there's not nearly as many as you would think that have done that, whether it's special teams, defense, whatever. But 200-plus snaps 3 years in a row. He's a veteran, valuable. He's a guy, Jay, at one point wasn't sure he'd stick around. I mean, you think about his opportunities and whatever else, and is he going to look to be a bigger impact somewhere else? I mean, you could make a case for everybody, I guess, at some point with that, but he was a guy that I wondered what his future held, and he stuck it out, and he's still here and now has a chance to fight for a starting spot, and we'll see what that looks like.
Think about Jake too. I know you like to comment on this type of stuff, BJ. Dude's got a great head of hair. I mean, he has some of the best hair on the team.
He does, and I will say, in terms of changing his body type, and you see these guys, you talk to them as high school kids, and you watch them develop over the years. I don't know if there's a guy that I talked to as a high school senior when we did our signing day show on Bronco Nation News 3 or 4 years ago to win, even in like a year. I mean, it hasn't changed a ton the last couple of years, but that initial transformation from him, when you look at, go back and find the videos and things, that interviews he did his senior year of high school to what he looks like now. He added a ton of weight and made it, and looks like a totally, completely different guy, and it's obviously paying off on the field.
He's got a little get off the bus factor. Yeah, for sure.
Which no offense to him, he didn't necessarily have coming out of high school. Whether it was 30, 40,
that's what happens when you go hang out with Ben Hilgart and the boys over in the weight room, for a few hours.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 30, 40, whatever it was pounds, but excuse me, he did a heck of a job having the look of a Pac-12 type linebacker. So
I agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Well,
I think you're also, one thing I'll add to Jake too, you're looking at a guy that he's always played hard, but this is the year where you leave it all out there. This is his last go around, and I have no doubt that Jake Ripp's going to do that.
Jake Ripp, number 24 on our player of our countdown. Oscar Doyle, 26. We had Jason Steele, 25. Oscar Doyle, number 24 on our countdown of the 26 most important players in 2026. And again, you can read more on Jake Ripp at BroncoNationNews.com. All right, some UFL news for Boise State. Also some talk about the settlement and things. We got plenty still to get to on Bronco Nation News, and we'll do that in just a second. But I do want to thank our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. Jim Sturk and company are taking care of student athletes on NIL deals. They're taking care of Spencer Danielson, Jeremiah Dickey. If you want to support somebody that is one of the biggest supporters out there of Boise State, and obviously our title sponsor here, our biggest supporter at Bronco Nation News, that is Lithia Ford of Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. Sun Cruiser, real iced tea, real vodka, whether it's strawberry lemonade, pink lemonade, blueberry lemonade, the half and half, the peach tea flavor, so many different options and flavors, and highly recommend it. Great golfing beverage, sitting around watching a sporting event, you name it. Sun Cruiser, get one today at your local gas station or grocery store. Idaho Central Credit Union, our chat sponsor, the ICCU YouTube chat. Get those comments and questions in for Jay, and we'll get to those here in a minute on Bronco Nation News. But ICCU, you may think you like your banking experience, folks, but I can promise you if you make the switch, you'll realize just what you've been missing out on and wish, like the Raines family did, that we had made the switch sooner. So many easy options. The online e-branch mobile banking is the best out there. Get more information. Make the switch today, ICCU.com. I think you'll be seeing Jay with his little ones out at Roaring Springs here in the near future. And if you want to save $32, you can do that when you buy 2 Coca-Cola products from Jackson's and Extra Mile by Jackson's. Save up to $32. Roaring Springs Water Park, again, buy 2 Coca-Cola products, Jackson's or Extra Mile, and you can save that there from our friends at Roaring Springs and Jackson's. Taco Bell, whether it's the crunchy chicken cantina tacos, all the breakfast options, the quesadillas, the hash brown, you name it. The menu is changing daily, and Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations, we appreciate their support of Bronco Nation News. So if you're looking for a delicious, quick, affordable meal, visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. And if you haven't been in a while, I highly recommend it. The menu's changed. There's healthier options. There's all kinds of delicious options. You don't feel like you're eating fast food when you go into Taco Bell. Check them out, TacoBellWorks.com. And in the video, you saw Spencer Danielson wearing the 40th anniversary on the blue jacket. Looks pretty good on him there. So if you're interested, the blueandorangestore.com, check them out. There's a limited number left, and it's a fully customizable Letterman's jacket here honoring the 40th anniversary of the blue. And you can get more information on that. You can head into the location there at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame. And you can go to, obviously, the location there at the Boise Town Square Mall. All your Boise State gear, the best selection, the best prices. Make sure you check out the Blue and Orange Store online, theblueandorangestore.com. Jay, I did want to give one shout out to the Boise State Club baseball team. We had their senior catcher on the show last week after they made it to the World Series that is coming up this weekend. And again, we had Nate Veneri on last week talking about them winning the regional tournament. I played club baseball back in college. I know a lot of the struggles financially and practice time and all that those guys go through to try to make it work. And it truly is for the love of the game and nothing else. And those guys are trying to raise some money. There is a link that I posted on my Twitter account today. So if you guys want to support the Boise State club baseball team, they're heading to Alton, Illinois, which is a suburb on the Illinois side, just out of St. Louis. And it is a pretty cool deal. I don't know if you saw or not, Jay, the Stephen F. Austin club baseball team with the tarps off thing at the Cardinals games last week and how crazy that went. And it kind of went viral. That was the Division II Club Baseball World Series. And then that finished up and they're all leaving. And now the big boys, the Division I Club Baseball comes in. Boise State is a part of that. So we'll see if we can get them out next weekend for a Cubs game maybe and go tarps off. I don't know. We'll have to talk to them about that. But pretty cool deal. They're heading here out in a couple days, and they're trying to raise $25,000. The link is through the official Boise State giving platform, Pony Up or whatever it's called. So you can donate, and I'll try to put it in the chat here while we're talking, but definitely it's on my Twitter account. And pretty cool deal, Jay. I know it's obviously a big controversial topic, Boise State baseball and not having a team, but the club team qualifying for the Club Baseball World Series. That hasn't happened in a while there, Jay. So
it's been a minute. Been a minute. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's funny because you want to celebrate these guys, but every time you bring it up, it does seem to spark the controversy of, Boise State no longer having a team. But get out and support these guys. Like they're still branded with Boise State stuff, and we'll see if they can go get it done. It's awesome to see. And these guys existed even before the baseball team, reestablished itself here for a few years. So yeah, hopefully they can go get it done. That'd be really cool to represent the Treasure Valley and Boise State and go win some games for sure. So excited to see what they can do there, BJ.
I showed this last time, Jay. It's been hanging in my closet, but here's my jersey signed by all my teammates here. The Kansas Club baseball jersey. We had
those are pretty legit jerseys.
We had the LA Dodgers look a little bit here, but actually, you know what this is? This was an old set of the actual Kansas baseball uniforms that they gave to us.
Okay.
So, they had which, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed or not, Kansas baseball this year, we're going to be hosting a regional. We're ranked like 13th in the country right now.
Would you guys like get a scrimmage them for fun or anything like that?
We tried in the fall, but it never happened. They were in, and then we actually started the team while we were there. So there was a little bit of like, it was, I don't know how to, it wasn't the easiest. We were trying to get, you could be getting the cages and things like that. Just it wasn't the easiest to do some of that because we were new and they didn't know if we were legit or not, but they did give us an old set of uniforms, which was cool.
Okay.
But I mean, it's like, a lot of times it's like the coaches or students, like it's your player coach and you're finding your own practice time and you're driving 8 hours in cars to go play games. Like it's tough. So, I have a special place in my heart for those guys just because I like I said, have literally been a part of that league and the NCBA, know exactly what they're talking about. And that was 20 years and 40 pounds ago or whatever. But it was obviously brings back some good memories. I literally haven't pulled that thing out of my closet in maybe since I moved here. And then before that, 10 years after that, whatever. So when we had the gentleman on last week and talked about it, and then seeing the whole Stephen F. Austin thing with the tarps off at the Cardinals game. Apparently those guys are coming back tonight. I guess they don't leave town. Their flight's not till tomorrow or something. So they were going to try to make one final appearance at tonight's Cardinals game, but I saw it might rain. So we'll see, but good luck to the club baseball team. And that you can, again, I put the link in the chat here if you want to donate and help them out. But Jay, you posted the video. We talked about it last week. But how about Jonah Dalmas? Gets signed by the UFL, goes in there, and I think 48-yarder on his first field goal attempt right down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a I don't know if unfair is the right word, but obviously such a his legendary, historic, record-breaking career, and then it really ended poorly in that Penn State game with a couple missed kicks. And I know that some people, just a crappy way for it to end with all that he had done. But when you look at the numbers, obviously had a heck of a career, and that kicking thing is so crazy, man. You wait. And shout out to Winston Venable for getting that deal done, by the way. He's working as his agent. He's also Alexander Tubner's agent, helped get him going up in Canada. So Winston Venable is building VSG Pro, his agency, and is doing a lot of great things. And shout out to Winston for helping use his connections. And Jonah went to a kicking camp that he got him into and obviously performed very well. And so you're always just waiting for that call as a kicker, and he got it and was playing on national TV a couple days later, Jay. And I know he had one blocked, but the 48-yard one was a nice one to start it off.
Man, I want to address the blocked one real quick because that's so unfortunate that you look at his stats now, and it says that Jonah's 1 for 2 at kicking field goals, but the wing didn't even seem to attempt to block the guy rushing off the edge who ended up not only blocking the field goal, but returning it for a touchdown. But it was a 55-yarder. And BJ, if you go back and you look at the replay,
he hit it pretty well.
Slow-mo up tight from kind of like behind Jonah, and it looks like he absolutely crushed it. Like, yeah, I might be biased, but I think it seemed like he was going to make that field goal, but he wasn't given a chance due to his wing, not even attempting to do anything really on the play, unfortunately. And it would have been a big field goal at that time because it would have pulled his team to within 1 point, right? Instead, they return it for a touchdown, and it's a 14-3 game instead of a 7-6 game with, maybe them getting another defensive stop and giving Jonah a chance to get out there again and potentially win the darn thing, right?
And you do know the rules, and everyone jokes at me for being a Battlehawks fan and watching the UFL and all this, but you do know in the UFL now, you kick it over 60 yards, it counts as a 4-point field goal. So Jonah Dalmas, if he can get to 60 at some point, will have a chance at a 4-point field goal.
I will say it was at 55 yards, and I was scrambling for the rule book there, BJ, because I don't watch a lot of UFL. That's the power of Jonah Dalmas, by the way.
There you go.
I rearranged my Saturday or Sunday morning to make sure that I was, dialed into UFL football.
Hey, Cam Camper's been making some plays in the UFL as well.
Yes,
There's some Boise State guys doing some things in there.
But I was searching for I had to do a quick Google search just to make sure that it was 60 and not like maybe 55 for the 4-point field goal. So, because that was his second field goal attempt. Again, he was lining up from 55, which would have been an absolute nuke.
And the cool thing about that is the cool thing about that is too, like if you're needing a 4-point, like if you're at 57 and you need a 60-yarder, you can like basically take a 3-yard sack and then try to kick a 60-yarder for the extra point. But if you get across the 50, you're not allowed to punt. And so if you get across the 50, you cannot take a sack to go behind the 50 to punt it. Once you're driving across the 50-yard line, you can. I actually don't mind some of the rule. And the kickoff rule that the NFL has right now with the guys lined up, the way it is, like that started in the UFL or XFL or whatever the league was called a couple years ago. And so they are testing some rules kind of for the NFL. And I mean, there was a game the other day, Jay, where they literally interviewed the back judge in the middle of the game about not calling a pass interference and what he saw in the play. Like they're interviewing refs, they're interviewing coaches during the game. You can hear Mike Pereira and Dean Blandino, like while they're reviewing the play, talking to the ref. Like they're doing some cool things. And if you're a football fan, is it the highest NFL level quality of football? No, but is it something fun on a Thursday night or a Saturday morning when the kids are having breakfast to turn on and watch? Like I enjoy it. It's mostly like kind of a joke about the Battlehawks, but they're the only football team in St. Louis, so I watch it when I can. But it's a fun little league. I texted that to Jonah. I said I'll be rooting for you, but I wish you'd signed with St. Louis. But luckily he was smart. He waited till after we crushed Columbus, then he signed with Columbus a couple days later, so he didn't have to deal with that. Maybe he would have been the difference, I guess. But Cam Camper, Jonah Dalmas. I mean, there's been a number of Boise State players that have. I mean, Tyler Rasa scored the first ever points when the league came back. They were the XFL at that point, and he was the very first player. Do you know who interviewed him on the sidelines after he made that first kick?
I don't, but I remember exactly where I was. I was back
playing
home
for the DC Defenders in Washington. It's a let's just say a female reporter that's in the news right now.
Actually, yes, I do know that. I do know that. Yeah. That's hilarious.
But I mean, it goes back all the way to its inception here, 5, 6, 7 years ago, whenever that was, to have him in the league. I'm blanking. There's been a number of other players that have signed in that league as well. So,
hey, maybe if Ross still has that connection, we can get some Patriots tickets. You know what I mean? Like, we'll have to love to see.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah. Good luck to Jonah. And hey, you know how Jay, man, kicking is so, like I said, you're sitting around one day, you get signed one day, you can get cut the next, but there's multiple kickers, Jay. The Detroit Lions kicker, Jake Bates, I think, or I forget his first name, but there's multiple kickers that have gone on from that league, and teams have watched them, and they've become star kickers in the NFL. So, I mean, this is a very big opportunity for Jonah Dalmas to show that he can make some kicks in big spots and get some actual legitimate game tape that you hope this leads to a look in the NFL at some point.
You're totally right on that. And even in the UFL, man, it just feels like so many kickers, whether it be UFL, NFL, whatever, are just kind of like recycled, right? Like one team cuts them, another team all of a sudden needs a kicker, they sign the kicker that was just cut. Like, it's just so cyclical, and it's hard to break the cycle or jump in the cycle. And so by Jonah just getting this opportunity, at least his foot is in the door. And as you said, meaningful tape to where now it's not just kicking with only a couple scouts watching you or something at a local college or high school field with nobody in the stands. Now you have legitimate pressure-packed kicks once again that you can put on tape and prove like, I can do this at a high level, and just remind everybody that you made 93 career field goals in college, which leaves you on the top 5 all-time list.
And I'm just going to throw this out there too, Jay. It's not happening now, but like me and Don Day worked together on a story, and the documents show like there was a verbal agreement at one point that there could have been a UFL team in Boise playing right now in the 2026 season. And you can't tell me if you had some former player come back as a coach, or if at the end of his career you have Brett Rippon as the quarterback for this team or something. I mean, the possibilities are endless. A lot of people laughed at it. I think it would have worked pretty well, and I think there's enough good players from Boise State that you could have stacked that thing with some prominent Boise State players, and I think it could have been really, really cool. And I know a lot of people kind of scoffed at it and laughed at it. Birmingham is averaging like 2,000 fans right now. They were going to leave Birmingham, and my understanding was because they moved to 3 markets, and they were college markets. Columbus, Ohio got the Aviators, where he's at. Orlando got a team, and there's a new Lexington, Kentucky got a team. They were going for smaller college town venues, and there was literally in writing, a verbal agreement to move the team to Boise. It didn't happen, I think, in part because the support at the last minute to try to save the Birmingham team. My understanding, it's probably not going to happen here now moving forward. They've just, when you hear all the teams listed, they've already announced Oklahoma City as a new team. Maybe who knows down the road, but I still think if you could have got a former Boise State coach or player or prominent guy involved as in the coaching staff and brought some former players in, that thing would have been pretty cool, man.
I think it would have been great. I do. I think it would have been an awesome summer thing to watch in Boise. I think that they could have benefited from the power of the blue turf as well, being added to the UFL, and sprinkling a couple of former Boise State football players on the team would have been massive.
Yeah. No, I when I heard it was at one point possible, everyone's kind of laughing, but I'm like, in a town like Boise State where how much they care about football and the once a Bronco, always a Bronco thing, if they could have pulled that off on the blue and gotten, like I said, some.
And you're not even talking about like a full NFL 17-game schedule where you have 8 or 9 home games, like
10 games, I think.
What's that?
10 games.
Yeah. So right, the UFL's regular season is 10 games, so you have 5 home games. Like,
And the one thing that's crazy is right now they all practice in the Dallas area to save money, and they practice there and then literally just fly out for the game. So like the St. Louis Battlehawks are only in St. Louis the day they're playing the game. But one of the documents that we uncovered was that the plan was to actually at some point here move the teams to the cities to practice and to be part of the community and all that. So you would have had kind of like this, I mean, very similar to the soccer team, right? You would have had a second level professional team that'd be very similar to the soccer team that'd be training and playing and practicing in Boise. And I don't know all the details, and I'm not trying to put you in a whatever spot. You're obviously an employee of Boise State, but
honestly, BJ, I don't know a lot about it other than I would have loved to see that.
There was a verbal agreement in place. For whatever reason, it didn't work out. It doesn't sound like it's an option now moving forward, unfortunately, but it's kind of one of those what could have been to have professional football in Boise. And you see some of these guys, and I think a roster with, I don't know. If you could have got Dan Hawkins to come back and coach for a year, if you could have got somebody like that to, I don't know if Dirk Cutter would have done something like that. I don't know.
Man, it feels like that's right up Dan's alley, man. Like growing the game, the love of the game, back on the blue.
He was just the first guy I thought of, but there's so many former players too that you could have put on that roster. And I mean, it is what it is, but bring Jalen Henderson back as the quarterback. I mean, come on.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. No, I mean, you have your list of star players that you could bring back and do that. So that just anytime I watch a UFL game and we talk about a Boise State player, I'm like, man, what could have been on that? But Jay, do you have a thought on we're waiting for the terms, but do you have any kind of thought on the news that the settlement with the Pac-12 and the Mountain West, it sounds like in June there'll be another hearing or something where the terms are at least put up for approval by the judge. They're still hammering out some of the final details. I'm sure that the real winner will be the billable hours and the lawyers and all of this. And I'm guessing both.
Why is that what I'm most excited to see? Because it's gone on for 20 months, and that tab is going to be excessive. Like that for everybody involved. Like
I was trying to remember who was it. You get those letters every once in a while, and you don't know if they're fake. I got one the other day about a settlement that I'm my bank, they charge double on the fees for when you took your money out on the withdrawal or something, and you're eligible to be part of this settlement. And it gives you the total
put your social security number in, buddy.
Exactly. But I know it said it gives you like, oh, you can be part of this $30 million minus the $10 million, whatever that's going to the legal part, or like the 30%, whatever it was. I just laughed. I was okay. Well,
$9.46 for giving us your social security number.
Exactly. But I just laughed at how much of the percentage was going to the lawyers, and I'm like, isn't that how it always is here? It's the lawyers and the billable hours always win. But I assume both sides are going to call this a win. Both sides are going to say that they got what they wanted and are happy about this. No one's going to reach a settlement and say, yeah, we lost, whatever. But I am curious to see when the numbers come out what this all looks like.
Yeah, I think my take is I'm exhausted by all the takes. And you can tell, like, on social media, when you log on, man, people have picked a side, and regardless of what anything suggests or says, or you look at the timing of this, and nobody's willing to budge in terms of their opinion on, what's going to happen here. And it's going to be interesting, man. Like, I think both of us would agree, grateful for the time in the Mountain West. There's awesome people over there. Like, I've enjoyed working with them without a doubt. But it is what it is. It's contentious.
By the way, trying to get information from the Pac-12 has not been easy, and so I do really miss being able to text Javen Headland or some of the people at the Mountain West and get a response, because I know they're still getting this thing up and rolling, but there's a couple media people that we have emails and contact info for, and it is really hard right now to get anything over there, at least on
I'll say this. I was news to me. I was hosting my show yesterday, and I looked down and I saw a tweet from you that said, there was a joint statement released. So I hadn't even seen that at that point in time when you tweeted that out. And it was funny. I did read it, and I was like, oh, man, this is – I don't know how many – I don't know. It was 150 words, and 100 of them were just
naming the people involved.
The universities and everything, and the
on behalf of Colorado State University Trust and all this other stuff. Yeah.
But we are just – the nice thing is we're just getting to a point where we're going to sort this thing out, and both leagues are going to be able to, effective July 1, do what's best for them. And I mean, BJ, there's also going to be something to this too in the future where these teams are going to have to play each other at some point in time, especially when you look at some of the Olympic sports, in order for them. I don't know if survive is too strong of a word, but in order for all of them to, be what they can be, there's going to have to be, some common ground, or essentially moving forward, where you're going to see Mountain West teams play Pac-12 teams. So that's why I think all this just we got to move on, get through it. And that way, everybody knows the cards they've been dealt, and both conferences and all the schools in each of those conferences can just attack the future.
Well, I'm trying to real quick find the tweet that I saw, part of the article from Mark Ziegler. I mean, the big reason I think a lot of people are interested in this, Jay, is there was a lot of money promised to some schools, UNLV and Air Force in particular. And if the settlement is a certain amount, there's a very, some people say it's a certain amount of money. There's some documents that say it's a percentage of the money. Mm-hmm. And if it's not the original amount or what they were promised, you just do wonder if there would be a loophole if a school like UNLV had interest in realizing that maybe they made a mistake and want to come over to the Pac-12. So I don't know how that's going to play out. I would still say that's probably unlikely, but I do think that's a big reason a lot of people are wondering what these terms are.
Yeah, I mean, that there were some significant promises handed out to a number of schools that enticed them to stay in the Mountain West Conference. And again, depending on which side of the argument you read, those teams are committed through the grant of rights through the expiration date, while some others argue like, no, if they aren't being given what they were promised, is it even valid? So I don't know the answer to that. I think that one question comes up, and this is more just, I mean, most of covering this topic came from my where I worked previously over at KTVB, and everybody brings up the war chest in the Pac-12 as if that's what's going to like pay all the exit fees, but I don't ever remember that being the case.
No.
There's a responsibility that falls on the schools. So I mean, if the Pac-12 wants to supplement it, I guess they can. That's up to their discretion. But everybody just like is trying to add up what's left in the war chest, and they can't even afford their exit fees. And I don't think that's right. But again, whatever. We'll find out here another month or so what is right and what's wrong, and everybody can move forward.
Jay, Tyson Degenhart, Reese Knox, Sean Garris, all on yesterday's edition of Bronco Studios.
Yeah, it was a fun little, mid-May show. Tyson's always fun to catch up with. Great dude. We got to talk a little Mariners baseball, and I'm keeping track now, BJ. As you know, we can be the most superstitious people in the world when it comes to baseball, and so the Mariners are now 1-0 since Tyson Degenhart's most recent interview on Bronco Studios Live. So if they run off some crazy streak now, I'm going to point to that interview as a big reason why. But cool to see Tyson wrap up his first.
Well, they were like 1-7 or whatever since Mike Burns came on. So
yeah, exactly. He's done. Not having him on anymore. But cool to see Tyson wrap up his first season in the G League, and now he's getting geared up for the NBA Summer League. And I don't know, man. Like, as silly as it sounds, sometimes it's just cool to look at. Like, you Google Tyson Degenhart, he's associated with the Toronto Raptors in some way, shape, or form, and he averaged over 9 points per game for essentially their minor league team. Like, I'm sorry, that looks pretty cool. And I think it was a really nice step in year one where he started 9 out of 36 games, showed that he could shoot it a little bit. I mean, really, he was the Tyson Degenhart that he was here, just on a smaller scale because he didn't play as much as he did at Boise State. But I think that, now you look at him going into the NBA Summer League, he's got some confidence. He loves to compete. And I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
Well, folks can go back on the Boise State Athletics YouTube channel. You can watch that interview, that show from yesterday. You can also watch the Climb episode there, I believe. I know it's on social media. The Sleepover on the Blue, kind of a cool 5-minute recap of that. Jay, I appreciate your time, man. I'm going to keep this thing rolling for a little bit and read the statement.
Get your 50% off the first year subscription, everybody. Okay, exclusive stories, recruiting updates, subscriber-only shows.
There you go.
Check it out right here. Okay.
There you go. Appreciate it, Jay.
BNN.
We're now officially endorsed by Boise State Athletics, I can say. But
now I officially am in trouble.
Kidding. Jay, appreciate it, man. Any early tease on tomorrow's show?
Oh man, let me think here. There's so much sports law talk right now. We got to sift through some of this stuff. So we're gonna have a professor from Boise State that we've had on a number of times, Sam Erlich, kind of try to come on and explain some of this stuff to us. And then I'll just give Boise State track and field a shout out real quick. We're gonna talk about that too on the show tomorrow, but. They had a really good weekend down at the track and field championships. All things considered, one of their best team performances in years down there.
There you go. Tottage Cheese says, by the way, he's about to go select my seats for the new fan section at the X.
Oh, let's go. All right.
What's happening today? Section 12.
Honestly, I didn't even know that. I do know that there's some stuff going over into the north end zone today. Every time you look over there, it gets a little cooler. And so I think some of the boxes are going to start to look a little more refined here in the near future.
Awesome. We're only, 2.5 weeks away from the Monster Truck Show, too. Will you be taking your kids to that?
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Have you heard about this? Like some of the details at all?
I mean, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but.
Well, like straight up, I was
got a second, feel free.
Monster trucks. But like, they're going like the show's actually going to be like legitimately big. Because normally they compete in kind of like smaller venues. I found out more about more to come on Friday show.
Friday, all right. Did they let you drive one?
No, I don't get to drive one.
Okay.
No, I'm still gonna push for that. Don't get to drive one. But they usually compete in kind of smaller venues, and they've got like double the amount of monster trucks that they normally would at any of these shows. So normally they'd have like 7. They're gonna have 15 here, and one of them is Smashed and Genty, obviously, which they've never done like the self-branded truck at a venue before. They're outside.
There's like some motocross bikes and stuff too, right?
Yeah, fire-breathing dragons. Like there's a lot of cool stuff. So there's no way that my 2.5-year-old son would not let me take him after I initially told him about it. But we'll absolutely be in attendance for that one.
And I think speaking of family, there's like a deal right now. I think you can get 4 tickets for $99 if you use the code family. I've seen it's every time I look at Facebook.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. So I've been told, it's been a while since I've seen monster trucks. I've been told I got to go get him some earmuffs. So we'll do that. But
outside might be a little better. I did one time over at the Idaho Center, and it was a little more louder in there. But
I was told, and you think about how low that roof is. I was told, it won't be nearly as bad, but just to play it safe, And I might need to bring a leash to tether him back from running out there to try to hug a monster truck or something. Man, BJ, I know your boys are all into baseball right now, but we are in severe car mode, right? I mean, today's garbage day.
Okay.
And he wakes up at 6:15 just to see the garbage truck pick up the garbage can and drive down the street. I know it.
That's awesome.
I mean, I wish I didn't.
Did he take it out too? Did he take it out for you too?
What's that?
Did he take it out for you too?
No, not yet. No, not yet. We'll get there. Do your boys take yours out for you?
Occasionally, yeah, we can get them too. When they want something, and they're willing to help out and try to earn it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I thought I saw a post that you throwing him BP every day now or something.
Dude, he woke up on Saturday morning and he's like, Dad, can we play baseball? I was like, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. Yes, awesome. We can play baseball.
That's awesome, man. Soak it in, because pretty soon they're going to be 11 and getting mad at everything you say and not thinking you're cool anymore. So
yeah.
Well, and you're going to have a middle schooler before you know it. That's
just
three days left. 3 days left of having 2 elementary kids. It's pretty crazy.
Just keep up in the ante with those $400 baseball bats, Dad, and you're going to be just fine.
400. I would gladly, if they were 400, that'd be a discounted price.
Are they pushing up now past that?
Oh, they're about 450, 500 now. Yeah.
Oh man.
If you want the newest bat, the Easton Dub and the Hype Fire and the Icon, all these are probably $449. Yeah. Man, just think if you had one of those bats back. I mean, I know they had bats back in the, but the technology they have now, I mean, it's like holding a toothpick in your hand, but it's like holding a toothpick with a tennis racket sponge on it. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Hey, appreciate it, Jay. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Sounds good.
Jay Tust, best in the business, Bronco Studios. Again, go watch the Boise State Athletics page and all of Jay's coverage there. If you have any other questions or comments, we'll keep this thing rolling for a few minutes. But do want to thank Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online at bauscherrealestate.com, 252-9877. We bought and sold our home with Matt 2 summers ago, and I highly recommend it. It was every step of the way, just great customer service and helped get us in our dream home and nothing but great things to say about Matt. He'll do the same for you. BauscherRealEstate.com. Hey, with all of our sponsors, folks, whether it's Matt Bauscher, Signature Roofing, like you name it, we will connect you. Happy to help connect you directly to the owner, to the company, to get that process started. And certainly we can do that at Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection. If you are looking to possibly get a new roof or do some repairs to your roof, we can help you out. mysignatureroofing.com, or like I said, reach out to me. We'll help connect you. They've been covering our community more than 2 decades at a time. We're loving our new roofs from Signature Roofing, and you will as well. mysignatureroofing.com. Same goes for Element Fencing, elementfencing.com, 631-2790. elementfencing.com. Decks, cedar, wrought iron, and vinyl, pergolas, fences. They can do it all, folks. The craftsmanship is unmatched. 25 plus years in the fencing business. Brady and his staff will help you build that perfect project from the ground up. And if you're on the fence, no pun intended, about that fencing project, now is the time. Element Fencing, online, elementfencing.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. 13 locations in the state of Idaho. If you want to, have that hometown family-friendly feel when you walk into a grocery store, think local, support local, and that's Ridley's Family Markets. Find a location near you at shopridleys.com. And if you have that painting project, maybe you get the roof fixed, you get the fence fixed, and now you got that painting project you need to take care of. I got you covered with rowpaint.com. Whether it's interior, exterior painting, those famous concrete coatings, you can transform the ugly concrete slab you have to make it look just tremendous in one day with their famous concrete coatings. And they have the painter for a day project as well. If you have a couple walls you need painted or touched up, you supply the paint, they supply the painter. So get more information online from our friends at rowpaint.com. And hope you're checking out another night out west every Sunday at 8 p.m. Tom Moser doing a tremendous job helping us out, covering the Pac-12, covering the Mountain West. The WCC is even getting mentioned a little bit. But if you're a basketball fan and you're craving off-season basketball coverage, Tom Moser has you covered every Sunday at 8 p.m. He spent a lot of time the other night talking about Tim Duryea at Boise State. So you can watch these episodes, obviously, live. We'd prefer at 8 p.m. on Sundays. If you can't make it, they are archived on YouTube. So go watch all the episodes on the transfer portal, the scheduling, all off-season news. Tom Moser has you covered every Sunday, 8 p.m. But again, they are archived, and you can go watch those on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. Another night out west, by our friends at Circa Sports, Sundays at 8 here on BNN, and I am wearing the Circa Sports hat. The football contests are back. We're going to be telling you more about those, but make plans to join us week 0 of the college football season down in Las Vegas. If you've ever thought about going, now's the time. Get a couple friends together, pool together, get an entry, and whether it's Survivor, whether it's Pick 5, everybody has that dream of winning millions, and you can be a part of that fun. And check out our friends at Circa Resort and Casino. Again, week 0, they do a big contest sign-up weekend. You get signed up for the contest, and you're able to hang out and have a pool event and an event with the owners and things at a happy hour. So there's a lot of free drinks, free food, and it's just a great party weekend. You get to watch some college football out at the pool on week 0 and on that Saturday and get ready for the Boise State season. So if you're interested, reach out to me for more details. We can get you discounts on the rooms and things as well. And you can come hang out with Brad Bedell and Kent Riddle and the whole crew at, I believe Nathan, Chris are going to be coming down there this year. We do some shows and things down there on Thursday and Friday in the ballroom. There's shows from all over the country broadcasting down there and podcasting things. So looking forward to week 0 down at Circa Resort and Casino. Reach out for more information, but start talking to your buddies, convince them. It's $1,000 entry fee, but if you get, 4 guys together, it's $250. It's another $50 or so to pay your proxy. And you are in, and you have a chance to win millions of dollars, and you have a reason to watch NFL Sunday every week, and it's a lot of fun. I can tell you from full experience. We'll be entering both contests again, and we'll see there. So let's see. Somebody's asking about the payouts for the Pac-12. I'm holding off on really commenting on that because we just don't know how official or legit that is. The 11.2 number is out there. Boise State, I think, got 5.7 or something like this past season, around 6. So theoretically, it would be close to double what Boise State has been getting, and I think that's a win for Boise State in the Pac-12 if they double what they're getting. But we'll have to wait and see if those numbers are indeed accurate or what those numbers look like when it's all said and done at the end. But certainly that is something we're trying to track. There was a Washington State Board of Regents meeting where they put a projected revenue from Pac-12 up there, and it was in the 11.2, I think, $11.3 million range. We'll see if that ends up being the case, but we will track that number here moving forward. But until I kind of know how official that is, I don't want to spend too much time opining on it. When is BNN going to give us a walkthrough of the North End Zone? We did that a month or two ago. They just had a media tour, I want to say about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks, and I put together a 45-minute video. So if you're interested, Tater Tom, go check it out on our Bronco Nation News YouTube channel. 45-minute tour, which is basically an entire tour of the North End Zone project, and you can see it in its entirety on both levels. And I'm sure there'll be another one once it's done. Coming up here in the next month or two. But to this point, if you want to see one that's still pretty close, I think you can go do that at bronconationnews.com. But yeah, the club seats are in. They're starting to put in some of the other boxes and things. They're getting close. Most of the actual construction is going to turn into, it's going to turn into just kind of cosmetic stuff, putting stuff on walls and installing TVs and, chairs and tables and all that kind of stuff. The actual construction of it is looks like getting nearing completion here. So it's a pretty cool project. Can't wait, and it'll be debuted officially for the Banana Ball games that are coming up here in a couple of weeks. But we've surpassed 1 hour here. Someone's asking about club baseball. First base and catcher mostly back in the day. Growing up in like middle school and high school and stuff was a pitcher and played some other spots, but first base and catcher, I wasn't the fastest runner. And by no means was I a good, great player. Is that you're playing club baseball for a reason. Just loved to play the game and wanted to help start the team with my friends. And we actually started the team. I was the president of the team for a year or two, and happy to say it's still going strong. And it's cool to see the league still going strong. And so, again, the Boise State club baseball team going to the Division I NCBA, National Club Baseball Association World Series, Alton, Illinois, which is a suburb just outside of St. Louis. Awesome, cool deal for them. And again, here is the website. I put it in the chat higher up. It's also on my Twitter account. If you can help donate, they're trying to get $25,000 to pay for all of their travel expenses. They had about, last time I looked, about $14,000, a little over $14,000, and they're trying to get to $25,000. They are 58% towards their goal. And if I share the screen real quick, you can see. How do I do this here? All right. There we go. So that's what you're seeing on the screen right there. $14,611 raised, 58% of their goal. They've got 113 people support so far. And there's the team. There's their regional championship picture with the trophy there. So these guys are doing it for the love of the game, not for anything else, because like I said, there's some lower level college players on there, but it's mostly guys that come to Boise State and want to keep playing baseball. And you'd be surprised, it actually is decent level baseball, but they need $25,000 to help get them to the Alton, Illinois area for the Club Baseball World Series. Help them out if you can, and good luck to the boys. We may try to get Nate, the senior catcher, back on at some point to follow their progress during the trip. But any news on the legislation for the extra year of eligibility that's in question for some players, that case-by-case basis? Yeah, it just depends if the 5 and 5 year goes through. But also it's not going to grandfather. So if guys are done, i.e. Dylan Andrews, Javen Buchanan, I mean, those guys are probably done. They can maybe try to get a waiver. NAIA players might have a different case with some of the NIL stuff there. I don't know. But as of now, the 5 and 5 rule is going to likely go through, but that will not grandfather in the guys that just finished their 4th year and have another year. So yeah, maybe there could be some lawsuits or cases. We'll see, but that's why I didn't make too much of Javen Buchanan going to West Virginia. Cool deal, that he got the recruiting trip and got the pictures, but I don't see a way right now that he's going to be able to play there. So yeah, we'll see when that rule goes through. It is going to benefit when it comes in whatever's best for the current athletes. So if you've already redshirted or had a medical redshirt or whatever, they're not in the fight. Like, you still could get a 6th or 7th year if you're a current player. They will grandfather it in terms of what helps student athletes the best moving forward and gives them the best, the most years. But that does not include the guys that just finished their 4th year. Those guys are pretty much done. So we'll wait until that goes official and kind of read that out. But there's always a chance at lawsuits. I mean, I just saw LSU signed a 26-year-old. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's going to try to push for a year. They also got a guy that played at St. John's and then played a year in the G League to just sign or commit today. So there's going to have to be a waiver for that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But appreciate you guys for checking out the show. Hour and 7 minutes. Going to call it a show for today. The Sun Cruiser Studios, appreciate them. And as always, appreciate our title sponsor, Lithia Ford of Boise. New or pre-owned vehicles, check out lithiafordboise.com. And as always, go subscribe. 50% off right now. You see at the bottom of the screen there, about $6 per month gets you a full year of coverage at BroncoNationNews.com. That includes all of the football season, all of the basketball season, recruiting season, portal season, all that stuff. We're posting daily recruiting articles, and might be a football commitment tonight. A Boise State high school football player is committing tonight, and Bronco Nation News will be breaking the story. We'll have the exclusive interview, the exclusive story with said player tonight at some point. And so when that happens, another reason why you're a subscriber to BNN, because you get the full story, the first story, instantly when it happens on BroncoNationNews.com. We'll probably post that a little bit early to the message boards tonight. But Boise State strengthening itself again tonight with a high school commitment that had some pretty good offers. But BNN already knows about it. We're already working on it. We're going to help that young man break the story tonight. And again, when it comes to recruiting coverage, nobody even comes close in the Valley right now to what we're providing on the recruiting coverage side. So Chris is just killing it. And again, we'll have breaking news tonight, breaking the story of a recruit committing to Boise State football with a full story of the player for subscribers at BNN. So subscribe now. That's the kind of coverage you get for $6 a month. BroncoNationNews.com. Just take advantage of our yearly offer, and we'll have daily recruiting coverage, daily football content, basketball content. If it's happening in Boise State, we're covering it at BroncoNationNews.com, and we are talking about it in the BNN message boards. Jump on over to those message boards. We have a free message board for football talk, free message board for basketball talk, and then the VIP board for subscriber-only stuff in there as well. So appreciate those of you that already have subscribed. Been a great response with this 50% off deal. And those of you that are on the fence about it, Now's the time before this deal goes away. 50% off at BroncoNationNews.com. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks to Jay Tust. Go check out Bronco Studios and all their great shows on the Boise State Athletics YouTube page. We will continue our countdown online and on the show tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll hope you join us. We'll be in the message boards chatting throughout the day and following any other Boise State news that may be happening, all leading up to tonight when we said we will be breaking the story of a new commitment for the Boise State football team tonight. Make sure you're checking online on BroncoNationNews.com for that. We may even throw it in the VIP message boards a little early for folks later today to let them know about it. So appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you at 9 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll see you online. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Take care.